Good morning. How's everyone doing on this day, Saturday? I'll give everybody a chance to come in. Give it a minute or two. How's everybody doing on this Saturday morning? Give everybody a chance to come in. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Um, I'm just waiting for a few people to come in. Give it another couple of seconds before I start. I'm sure by now all of you have heard about the assassination of Charlie Kirk at a at one of his not rallies, but one of his speeches in a on a college campus in Utah. Um, Anybody who comes in, please like and subscribe to my channel, Newsflash, formerly Things Worth Knowing, at BIGGIRL underscore 72. Good morning. Charlie Kirk and his assassination uh, uh, um, attempt. And I'm going to say that I'm going to say this. I do not wish death upon anyone, but I was always taught that words, words hurt, there are consequences for your actions. I'm not saying that I don't believe in violence of any type towards anyone, but we have to realize that we must be careful of the words we speak into the atmosphere of how we perceive people and the things we say um, because words do hurt. I don't agree. I don't condone violence of any type towards anyone, but the words you put out and the vibes you put out have consequences. And I want to say this: I I have empathy, and I send my condolences to his children, not his family, not his wife, because they know the words that he spewed were full of hate towards the homosexual, um, homosexual towards blacks. Too. He was anti-Semitic. Charlie Kirk was no was no martyr. He disparaged women, black women. He referred to Michelle Obama, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Joy Reid, Sheila Jackson Lee as DEI hires who were not qualified for the positions they held. Being now, all of these women, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, they all went to Harvard University. They were picked by Harvard University because Harvard University, you know, discrimination. They practice diversity, equity, and inclusion in their admitting practices. Hello, for those coming in who may not have, please like and subscribe to my channel. Newsflash, formerly known as Things Worth Knowing at BIGGIRL_72. I have 10 people in. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But, so Charlie Kirk was no martyr, is no martyr. He was homophobic. He was racist. He was a Christian nationalist, white supremacist. His family knew it, and he did he deserve to be shot the way he was? No, he didn't deserve it. He had the right to his beliefs, and I don't condone the violence used towards him, but believe me, he was no martyr. He was not that. And the young man, Tyler Robinson, came from a MAGA family. The MAGA Trump supporters viewing, who follow Donald Trump, who gives he's give racists the go-ahead to be racist, and they're turning on each other. Donald Trump is responsible for this MAGA movement, and so you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. And Charlie Kirk spewed hate. He was full of hate and vitriol for people who he thought were beneath him. And he was killed by someone who they say allegedly he was a supporter. It's just crazy. He was a white nationalist supporter who felt that Charlie was not conservative enough. And because he spoke out on the Epstein files and whatever else. But here's the problem with all of this with Charlie Kirk and his family and his family and his beliefs. The Republican Party, members of the Republican Party, Nancy Mace from South Carolina, President Trump himself, they wanted to blame it on the radical left, as Donald Trump likes to say, the radical left, and they blamed it on Antifa and Charlie Kirk. They blamed it on everything, and they set back, and they were so sure that it was someone on the left who did it, and it comes to find out the person who killed him was one of their own. He was a conservative young man who came from a Trump-supporting family who supported the MAGA movement and supported Donald Trump. And it was one of their own who killed him. Now the thing, oh, he deserves to be prayed for. The only empathy I have is for his children, because his children were not a part of this thing. His it's sad, but it's sad but true, you know. And there was a shooting which has not been reported. I've read about the shooting in a Colorado school the same day as his assassination that no one reported on. So where does the empathy lie? My empathy lies with those children who were part of you know, who are got caught up in this gun mess. So we don't. And now these MAGA nuts want to blame black people. Now the HBCUs are on lockdown because there's threats to go to the HBCUs when one of their own, a young white man, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, who shot him. And some say it was a professional hit, but it, excuse me, some people say it was a professional hit, but it's been revealed through his grandmother through posts that I've read that he comes from a MAGA, ultra MAGA Trump family, who very conservative family from Utah. Blacks have been blamed for a lot of stuff that's going on, and luckily we as blacks have not taken the bait for any of this. You know, they tend to want to blame us, and we've laid back and we're not falling into it. They're trying to get us as black people to react so they can have a reason to send the military in to black cities and things of that nature. And so far we haven't fell for any of it. But there's an agenda going on, and Charlie Kirk, you know, he just, you know, any black person, male or female, who was in a position of authority, and he just automatically pushed the theory that they were only there because of DEI hiring, doesn't look at the grades, and this is the stuff that he spews on his so-called campus debates with young people. If anybody knows anything about Charlie Kirk, they would notice that he never debated adult individuals. He went on campus, spewed his poison to young people, impressionable young people, who most of them, you know, weren't, you know, weren't, I won't say they weren't knowledgeable, but who were impressionable. I will say they were impressionable young people. And then they had some adults. But anyway, Charlie Kirk was not this martyr. Flag should not be flown at half-staff. He was not a politician. He was a man who had radical ideas, racist ideas about people in general. And he, you know, white Christian nationalists, women should stay in the home, be seen and not heard. And his wife, Erica, she you know, she is a part of it also. He was a very racist young man, but everybody is entitled to their opinion. So I'm I'm going to say this again. I'm not, I don't condone violence towards anyone. I don't wish death upon anyone. But you reap what you sow with your words. Words have consequences. You know, your actions have consequences. So when people when people speak these things, they don't realize that they how the things that are happening, that they come back in so many ways to haunt us. Karma is real. You know, I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk got what he deserved, because nobody deserves to be murdered. I don't care who you are, what your beliefs are. You do not deserve to be murdered. You know, but again, I was always taught words have consequences. And we have to be careful of the things we put out in the atmosphere. You know, we do have to be careful of that. And good morning to everyone who has joined in here. Words do have con- words do have consequences, and the hate we put out will come back to get us. Yes, it will. So we must be mindful of the things we say, how we say it. And, and again, everybody does have a right to their opinions and to their feelings. But we we have to learn how to be able to agree to disagree peacefully. One subscribes. Thank you, River Maze 2017. I really appreciate that. For those who are just coming in, please like and subscribe to my channel, Newsflash, formerly Things Worth Knowing, at BIGGIRL_72. You know, you know. But I'm all over the place with this. Charlie Kirk was not killed by some leftist radical, as the Republican right would like for us to believe. Charlie Kirk was killed by one of his own conservative Trump MAGA supporters. He was not a martyr. He was not a nice person. He was a racist, a white supremacist, a Christian nationalist, um, a MAGA, 100% MAGA, who affiliates with Nick Fuentes. There's so much that is not being said about Charlie Kirk. He disparaged black women as being moronic and not being capable of performing any type of jobs. The only people who were qualified to do jobs were white and males. You know, DEI. Every black person who had a position of authority was a DEI hire. He didn't trust. If he saw a black pilot, he would say they weren't qualified. I mean, he was one of the founders of Turning Point USA, which Candace Owens was a part of. He had a lot of racist views, so he, you know, he's not the person that people want you to believe he is. But again, I will say this: I wish death upon no one. I wish bodily harm to no one. Everybody is entitled to their opinions, to what they believe in. This, what they believe in. So, again, we have to take, we have to, you know, really, really be aware of the things we put out in the universe, because things do have consequences. Yes, they do have consequences. And once again, um, you know, I don't condone the violence that happened to him. No one, no one deserves to be murdered, no matter what we think or how we think of them, and the, and we may not like the positions that they take, but no one has a right to be murdered. But as the old saying goes, you reap what you sow. So if anyone would like to come up and say, put a word out, feel free to. If not, I'm going to end this live. Have a good day, everyone.